Box and Wireless Scotland, the very best of your box and wireless.
About why doesn't Scotland become a tax haven? So in other words, we don't actually pay any income tax because we've had governments full of tax and spend for we've had tax and spend for the last 11 years, and we think to ourselves, right, what do we do about this? What do we do about the whole concept of tax and spend? In other words, we've been giving our money to the politicians and they've been spending it. Have they spent it well? Have they spent it wisely, I ask you? 01698 337 107. I hear my doots. You're live at Scottish Phoning. Good morning. Hello?
The king was a Nazi who abdicated.
Hello, you're live at Scottish Phoning. Good morning.
Good morning, Scotty.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Who is this?
Wullie.
Willie, it's yourself. Haven't heard from you for yonkers.
I've sent you a couple of emails, did you get 'em?
Thank you for that, yes indeed. If you don't hear, please don't think it's rudeness. It's just I get between 200 and 300 emails a day. And, if I replied to everyone, you wouldn't get phone in.
Yeah.
But...
Well, I sent you a couple today. One, I thought maybe you'd not be able to open, so I sent you another one, the PDF file, right?
Right.
As you probably know, today is the 60th anniversary of the Yangtze Incident.
The Yangtze Incident 60 years ago today?
Yep, today and tomorrow.
Right, today and tomorrow. So we're looking at the 20th of April. We're looking at the 20th of April, 1949.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Right.
And the 21st.
And you were actually there on the day?
No, I followed that.
You followed that, right.
Yep.
Fantastic.
The human cost to the 4 ships at that time, 46 dead and 68 wounded.
Now, a lot of people listening will have seen the film, right?
It's rubbish. Tell them to forget it.
Now, the film, what was the film called? It was the Yangtze Incident.
It's called the Yangtze Incident because the Admiralty insisted on the title being changed from Sitting Duck to Yangtze Incident.
Right, so Sitting Duck was the original title for the film?
That was the original title for the film.
Because they thought HMS Amethyst was a sitting duck.
It was a sitting duck.
Right, now, what's the background to this? A lot of people remember that, a lot of young listeners.
Well, on the 19th, they sent HMS Amethyst into a river in China.
Into the Yangtze?
Into the Yangtze.
Now, why did they do that, Willie?
Well, the question is still being asked because there was no need for it, because the river was indicted to all shipping. No, and they sent that ship in, bumming the load for years.
Now, why did they send the ship thinking?
More or less that, but not on this occasion, because on the secondary armament wasn't on board. The main armament was in malfunction.
Right, so the guns weren't working?
They weren't working.
Right, so why did they say Britain saying, stop your nonsense?
No, Britain wasn't saying stop your nonsense. Britain had no right even interfering in it.
Right.
Because of December 1945, signed a treaty known as the Moscow Declaration.
Yes.
And in that declaration, along with Russia and America, they signed up non-intervention in China's internal affairs.
Ah, right.
Well, China's internal affairs at that time she was at civil war with itself.
Right, so there was a civil war going on in China. This was the communists against the freedom.
And Britain was taking sides, whether they like it or not.
Well, they'd be anti-communist, wouldn't they?
They were anti-communist, but they had no right selling ships to the nationalists, because that seemed taking a part in a war.
Right.
It's got nothing to do with them.
Right, but I mean, if as an arms salesman once said, if we don't do it, someone else will.
Well, what?
So we might as well get the profits
for... We can accept that, but the thing is, we've got to also accept that we signed up to an agreement not to become involved.
Okay, so the agreement, the Moscow Declaration, was signed in 1945.
In December of 1945.
Right, and who were the main signatories? Did Churchill sign that?
I think that would be Attlee at that particular time. No, it may have been Churchill.
Right, and it would be Mao?
Yep.
Yeah, and it would be Stalin?
Chiang Mouth, Chiang Kai-shek, the whole lot.
Right, okay, now, let's come back to the Yangtze. So the Yangtze had been closed to foreign shipping?
It had been closed to all shipping.
To all shipping, right.
Yep.
Now, why was it closed to all shipping then?
Because of the ensuing war.
Right, so, okay.
And it was the Chinese Communist authorities who broadcast their intention to cross the Yangtze on specific dates that were issued.
Right.
Interdicting that river, they were in their own right, because they held the North Bank.
Right, okay.
So it's saying, look, keep query here, this is a war zone, we're going to settle this and then we'll talk after it.
Right, so somebody then must have authorised a British warship, or did the captain decide?
Well, can I put it this way? The main man wasn't on the Far East Station at the time.
Right, all
That
right.
was the CNC of the Far East Station.
Right, so, okay, so...
And there was second in command, a man by the name of Madden.
Yes.
Better known as Madman Madden.
Right.
They put him down as a sort of warmonger at that time, right?
And is he still alive?
No.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Right.
So he can't be held. You know.
Right. So that was that. Okay, so how come the Amethyst eventually ended up in the Yangtze then? She should have stayed out of that.
It should have stayed out of it.
Right.
But he decided, because an Australian ship, HMAS Shoalhaven.
Shorehaven.
It was in line to go up there, right?
Right.
To relieve HMS Consort.
So the consort was based,
The
in the
consort
Yangtze.
was stationed at Nanking,
Right, I've got you now. Yeah.
right?
Right.
And she was overdue for relief.
Right, so the men were getting tired, they were running short of supplies, etc.
Yeah. That's the story that they put out. Ships like that don't run out of supplies, and they know how to look after themselves.
Right, okay, that's fine, Willie. Yeah, well, you're the Navy man, you can tell us.
Uh-huh.
So, although she was due for relief, that would just have been an administrative thing.
Yeah.
She was sitting there.
She could have lasted another couple of weeks, no problem, and the whole thing would have passed by them.
So she was sitting there, the consort was sitting there.
As guardship to the British Embassy.
Ah, right, that's fair enough. So she was absolutely sensible to have the consort there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, okay.
In other words, she was in safe harbour.
She was in safe harbour, and she was on a diplomatic mission as much as anything else.
Diplomatic, correct.
Yep, good.
Well, he decided when Amethyst got shot up that Consort should be sent to his assistance.
So the Amethyst shouldn't have been there. When she went there, they attacked her, is that right?
They fired warning shots over her.
Right, but she wasn't actually damaged at that point.
The first time, she wasn't damaged, right?
Right.
So the warning shots, it could be said, was stop and state your business.
So was she underway at the time?
Aye, she was on her way up.
Up to relieve the consort?
She had passed Kaiyang Ying,
Right.
which was a nationalist-held gun port.
Yep.
So she'd passed there, and that's when the warning shots were fired over and around her, as if stop and state your business.
Well, why did she then stop and say, going to relieve HMS Consort, diplomatic mission, we are a British... What was she? She was a destroyer, was she?
No, the Amethyst was a frigate.
A frigate, right.
But when a madman of an admiral says, you get up there, you don't stop to say, no, I'm not going up there, you go.
Yep.
Because you just have put a gun to your head at that time, you know.
Right.
So, these guys were sent in there, and they should never have been sent in, and there's no excuse whatsoever for it, because the very fact that her secondary armament wasn't on board, that tells you she shouldn't have been sent in.
Right.
She wasn't fit to defend herself.
Right.
Her director, that was screwed up, so she couldn't find targets with her main armament because their guns wouldn't move from the position fore and aft.
Right, but I mean, nobody would know that, so there's an element of bluff involved, I take it.
No, don't be kidded with that, Scotty, because when a ship goes to sea, they check all these things out.
Well, why was she allowed to go to sea?
Because it was not orders of a madman.
Right, okay, yep, I see. But there have been huge errors made at high levels in defence over the years.
Uh-huh.
The K-ships, as we've talked about, was a case in point.
Aye, well, you couldn't get a bigger error than what Tony Blair committing this nation to war in Iraq on a false pretext.
Sure.
So we've got the very same thing there.
Very, yeah.
And then we've got something like Maggie Thatcher.
Yeah.
Turning the guns on a ship, or the torpedo tubes of a submarine on a ship that was out of territorial waters.
Well, that's up for debate, isn't it?
Of course it's up for debate, but the ship was outside territorial waters when she gave the order to fire.
But you see, what we've got here, we're dealing with two separate things. I mean, Lord Mountbatten, the late Lord Louis Mountbatten, you know, I mean, a remarkable man, but again, accused of making huge errors of judgment. I mean, the late Lord Louis Mountbatten, you know, Chief of the Defence Staff, you know, again accused of making huge errors of judgment in the war. You know, when his own ship HMS Kelly was sunk. He was very brave and showed a great example during that, but they reckoned the Kelly should never have been sunk.
Again, it's disputable, isn't it? All these things are disputable.
All these things are disputable, but you see, what you've got to say, before you criticise a man, you've got to walk a mile in his shoes. Now, we're dealing with two separate things here. I can understand politicians who have no service experience getting things wrong. They may have been badly advised, and they genuinely are not aware of how the whole game works, right?
Yep.
But it's a different story when it's senior service people. Because they should know what they're doing.
Yep.
You know, they should know about a tactical support and what to do in a situation. Because if you think about it, the whole reason for having defence and armaments is that people know exactly how to use them. And this should be the great danger when the military get mobilised. You know, they do a superb job.
That's right. You've got that. So the
thing is...
these guys are trained up. They know exactly what to do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you'll find that British admirals, particularly in those days, you would have found that a lot of them would have served in the First World War. You know, and would have served on board big battle cruisers, and they would have commanded squadrons. So, you know, they should be first-class sea people as well. You know, from oarsmen upwards. In fact, I've actually seen a picture of one of the admirals being rowed by all the other admirals in one of the early barges.
Well, Scotty, put it this way. An admiral, when he's on a ship, he leads from the front.
Of course, the flagship.
Yep.
The flagship. Now, let's
Madden.
Well, let's get back to so that people know, because a lot of people, you say the film, you know, changes the story a bit.
Yeah, it's demeaning.
Right. Okay. So the Amethyst is up the Yangtze. She's going full pelt up the Yangtze or down the Yangtze. Up the Yangtze. Up the Yangtze, going full pelt. She's getting fired on from either side. Her armaments aren't working, so I take it she didn't return fire. And she's going up there to relieve the consort, which probably could have lasted another fortnight anyway. Now, what happened after that, Willie?
Well, the consort was there to protect the embassy and the British subjects that was there in Nanking, right?
Right.
Well, that admiral ordered the consort to go to the assistance of the Amethyst.
Right, so the consort had to leave her station in Safe Harbour.
She had to leave her station.
And head down the Yangtze to look after the Amethyst, which was under fire. Right. So
she left Nanking to its own devices.
Right, so the consort was ordered out of Nanking Harbour.
Yep.
Right, and went down the Yangtze to meet the Amethyst to help out.
Straight into a war zone.
Right, now the consort's armament was all working, yes?
Yep.
She was battle ready. So what happened? What happened? Did she get to the Amethyst?
She got to the Amethyst.
Yep.
She made 3 valiant attempts to take the Amethyst in tow.
Right, which were under fire.
All the time under fire.
Right, that's brave.
Right?
That's brave.
There is a man still alive today who landed the monkey's paw on board the Amethyst.
Right.
That's, you know, a line, throwing a line to pick up the tow line.
A length of the tow hook, yeah?
Yep, he landed that on her.
Right, so, and was anybody on the Amethyst foredeck to secure it?
There was nobody on the upper and open decks of the Amethyst.
To secure it, so they'd gone down to take cover.
Well, they had no option, hadn't they? No, we're not saying that these guys were Kurds or anything like that.
No, of course not, but I mean, they'd maybe been ordered below decks.
Right. But there was nobody there. consort silenced the guns on all the banks,
Right.
but there's no one there, and then other batteries open up on her. So its steering is knocked out, so she's having to steer from the stern.
And was she getting fired upon by both sides?
No, only by the communists.
Right, so they had to then take the auxiliary wheel at the stern,
Uh-huh.
which meant a man being on deck, exposed.
It meant them being all along the deck.
Ah,
To
right.
pass the messages because there's that much damage done to the ship,
Right, I'm with you.
right?
So there was damage reports going on.
Damage reports, there was nothing left there. I'll send you a photo if you want it,
Good Lord.
right?
And how many men were killed?
There was 10 killed, right?
Yep.
And there was nearly 100 wounded, about, say, 59 very seriously wounded, right?
On both ships or on the consort?
On the consort at that particular time.
Right.
But the total over, you had a 2-hour, 40-minute battle with consort, right?
Right.
And then you had an hour the next day with London and Black Swan. So the human cost in total.
So wait a minute, is this HMS London?
HMS London, the cruiser.
Which is a cruiser, yep.
Now, only a madman would take a cruiser into a situation like that.
Yep.
Right, it has to be said.
Yes.
A county-class cruiser and a river ladder. That's like taking a county-class cruiser up to the Clyde.
Yes. I know HMS London, yes indeed.
Imagine trying to turn that.
I was familiar with one of the captains in her career.
Well, obviously they copped it there as well, right?
Right, so people were injured on the London as well?
Yes.
And on the Black Swan?
Yes, it was only injuries.
And what
There was deaths on the London, injuries on the Black Swan.
And what was the Black Swan?
The Black Swan was a frigate also.
She was a frigate, right, so she was the same as the Amethyst?
Yep.
Yep.
Same class.
And the Consort?
No, the consort was a destroyer.
She was a destroyer, right,
Yep.
okay, yep, with you.
Clyde built.
Yep, indeed. Built at Yarrow's or John Brown's?
Can you say that again, Scotty?
Was she built at Yarrow's or John Brown's?
Well, the dockyard's finished. The name will just not come to me now.
I think it might be Yarrow's.
Aye, more or less, right? Can I put it this way?
Yep.
The day that Amethyst slipped into the Clyde, when she was launched,
Yes.
the next day they laid the keel for HMS Consort.
Isn't that interesting?
There you go.
There you go, my goodness me. Right, so you've got a huge big cruiser there. I mean, was the Yangtze a very, very wide river?
Well, you know what Paddy's Milestone is?
Yes.
That was about the distance
Between that and the shore?
that they were fighting on. Aye, north to south. That was the distance, aye.
That's very interesting, yes. That's a fair old distance.
So imagine a cruiser trying to turn on that.
Try to turn round, yeah.
No manoeuvrability around. So
And is the Yangtze, I take it's quite shallow, is it not?
that was when it was well down, right?
Right.
And everybody that's ever been on the Yangtze knows what it's like.
So what happened to HMS London and HMS Black Swan?
Well, they were shot to pieces and had to turn away because they never even got to within 20 miles.
So they went away down the Yangtze again.
They had to go down.
So by this stage the battle was starting to spread.
That's right. At a time when the communist authorities and its People's Liberation Army are crossing the river.
Right.
Now, can I mention a book to you here?
Of course.
There was a book that was written by a Dr. Wedderburn, a Scottish surgeon.
Yes.
And the title is No Lotus Garden.
Say it again, please.
The title of that book is No Lotus Garden.
No Lotus Garden. So in other words, hardly a place of peace.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Wedderburn was called upon to go to attend to the wounded when the news broke.
Right.
And that was on the 20th of April. 60 years ago the day, right?
Yes.
And he flew over it and gave his eyewitness account in that book of what was happening.
So everybody got embroiled really, and there was no real reason for it, is what you're saying.
No real reason at all. The question has always been asked, why did such an incident occur?
Right, so in other words, what should have happened is Far East Command should have contacted the consort and said, we won't be relieving you at the moment because of a diplomatic situation.
That was all in place anyway.
Right.
But they sent the Amethyst in because the Australians weren't going to send the Shoalhaven in. They took cognizance of what was happening on the Yangtze at that time.
So you think there was an element of old-fashioned, 100-year previous British gunboat diplomacy going on?
I know exactly what there was. It was an admiral wanted to play the part of King George.
Right. Well, he wanted to be the
Drake.
The Drake of the period, exactly. The military hero.
Uh-huh.
Yes, the Nelson.
Yeah, but he wasn't all that clever because he hid himself in the turret.
Right.
Of Y-gun on board HMS London when it turned tail to come down.
Right.
Or I think he actually got flung in there so that the captain took over the ship again.
Right, so there's all that going on. And then the film was made, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And you think the film...
Well, the film was made, right?
Yeah.
It flowed from Lawrence Earl's publication, Yangtze Incident, in 1952, right?
Right.
And then the film was produced in 1957.
Right.
Well, take into account that the incident occurred in 1949.
Right, so there's...
so the documents
8 years.
appertaining to that particular incident hadn't even been released.
So they wouldn't have appeared until 79.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So
the documents
the
wouldn't come out.
Admiralty gave them the amethyst to make the film with.
Right.
And she got more damage done to her when they were making the film than what happened to her on the Yangtze.
So what
the explosive charges set round about the ship to make it look so authentic.
Yeah.
Blew the plates in. They had to scrap her after it.
Oh, right.
And then what did they do? They turned around and gave them another ship to complete the film.
Amazing.
So therefore, it was a cover-up. This was a propaganda film. This is what it's all about.
Yeah, well,
I've now got the guys from HMS Consort telling their story.
Yes, indeed.
They've just published the book.
Indeed.
Loyal and Steadfast.
Loyal and Steadfast.
Yep.
Yep. And who's that by?
It's the different stories from guys that have served on board HMS Consort, telling the story of the ship's 10-year life on the Far East Station.
So it's a collection of their stories making up the big story.
Yep, and in it covers Consort's part in the Yangtze Incident.
Fascinating. And so the truth has come out.
The true facts are coming out now. If I can just tell you this, Scotty, right? During the Second World War, you remember there was a film made, The Man That Never Was.
The Man That Never Was. It was a great film again.
Great film, right?
Yes, and that was about a chap called Martin.
Mm-hmm. That's right. They named him Martin. Major Martin.
Yes.
Well, a young lieutenant at the time, when that submarine surfaced off the Spanish coast, was conning it closer to the Spanish coast so that they could put the body into the water.
Yes.
That young lieutenant, in 1949, was flag officer on board HMS Belfast.
Yes.
Now, when Amethyst was captured up there, being held hostage...
There was the Belfast was a cruiser.
The Belfast was a cruiser.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, and that was the Admiral, the C&C's ship, right?
Fantastic.
Admiral Brind.
Fantastic.
That was his ship. Well, that young man, his name was Dickens, Scott Dickens, right?
Yeah.
His father was also an admiral.
Yes.
But he was flag officer to the Commander-in-Chief Far East Station.
Right.
So they used him to develop a thing called a one-pad system.
And is he still with us?
He passed away several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But he done an amazing thing. It's just completely unbelievable. Before he passed away, on 3 separate occasions, he went into the Churchill College.
Yes, at Cambridge.
At Cambridge, and deposited his naval papers.
Fantastic.
And it was under the Amethyst Incident.
Right.
Well, when I picked up on that, I got a search done, and I've got all those papers here now, all the naval signals. And see the lies that the government and the deceit of the government at that time. It's now being exposed because Rear Admiral Sir David Scott was known in the Navy as a whistleblower. It was him that blew the whistle on the Chevron thing in 1976, I think that was.
And has he passed on?
What on?
Has he passed on?
Yep.
Yeah, all gone.
Well, when he left the papers there, he left every signal for the 30th and 31st of July 1949.
Very interesting.
And the order was given on the 30th to a ship called HMS Concord
Right.
to go into the Yangtze River
Yes.
and assist the Amethyst in its escape.
And you were on the Concorde?
No, I was on the consort,
You were on the Consort?
right?
Yeah.
So they sent that ship in on the 30th, and she brought the Amethyst out on the 31st. They always talk about the signal, have rejoined the fleet.
Yeah.
Well, people will be able to read into that signal just shortly, because the whole of the Far East fleet had the mouth of the Yangtze River covered
Yeah.
when Concord was sent in there, and she brought the Amethyst out. When the Amethyst was brought out, they stopped the Concord, took the logbook out of commission, that's the ship's log,
Yeah.
and sent Concord on patrol of North China. In other words, she wasn't there.
Sent it away, yeah.
I've even got the telegram that was sent by the ambassador that was in Nanking at that time, Sir Ralph Stevenson. And in the telegram sent on the 31st of July, it states, no, repeat, no publicity must be given to the fact that HMS Concord entered Chinese territorial waters.
Absolutely. Well, it would have caused a diplomatic incident.
Exactly, right?
Yes, and you can see this, Willie. You've got to look. I mean, I absolutely wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying there. But the other side of this is we have to look after our own defence and our own diplomatic interests.
That's true.
And I think that there are many, many, many occasions during the Second World War when things like that have happened. You know, I mean, you know, I've seen telegrams from Bomber Command on no account make any statement to the press. So, of course, you need, there's a big element for secrecy. But then that also can lead
I fully accept that.
to an abuse of power.
I'm not even disputing that. I fully accept that.
You know,
right?
you can't let the opposition know what you're up to.
But there was no opposition. There was no opposition.
Well, yeah, but I
we
mean,
weren't involved.
yeah, but if she hadn't been there, you know, I mean, you have to deal with the situation with the fact that she actually ended up there, a bit like the captain of the London at the time had to make a decision to get to, you know. You've just got to deal with the situation when you're in it, as you well know.
Well, you tell me this, Scotty, and tell me for your heart and also your head.
Yes.
They struck a campaign medal, and that campaign medal for the ships that was involved in the Yangtze, and that's including aircraft and everything, right?
Yes.
Is covered from the 20th of April 1949 to the 31st of July 1949.
Yes.
Well, why wasn't HMS Concord included?
Ah, and that is your very strong feeling about it.
Yes.
Yes, that the men from the Concorde deserve the recognition.
They deserve the recognition. It's only a clasp, a medal.
Yeah, but it's very important if you've served.
Yep.
I mean,
These guys put their lives on the line
yes, they did.
to go there and make sure that ship was coming out. What people don't realise is that HMS Concord was sent into the most dangerous place in the Yangtze River and told to train its guns on the Wusong forts.
Yeah.
The Wusong forts were firing 9-inch shells.
Well, I think what should happen then, Willie, is that the medal is sent to the remaining survivors.
There's only 34.
34. The medal should be sent, and it should say, "Thank you for what does the medal say on it? Does it say for gallantry?"
It's only the Naval General Service Medal, but there's a small clasp that goes across the top of it, and it says on it Yangtze. Nothing else.
Right. Well, that should go out, in my opinion. Without fail, and that should go. And I'll tell you, it should go out this week. It should go out this week because I recently saw a medal that was being offered for merchantmen, mercantile marine, and I got in touch with a friend of mine who was 80 last week, whose brother, who was 86 but died about 2 years ago, was 86 at the time, so he'd be 88 now, had taken part in the Russian convoys, and I said he would be eligible for that. He went and he said, could you sign the form to his brother who was in hospital? His brother said, I don't need no medal. And he said, yes, well, you'll get this, and the medal arrived just 2 days after he died.
Yep.
So that should go out this week, in my opinion,
Well,
with the Yangtze clasp, and it should include the men in the Concorde. But that's my opinion. I don't work in
in the medal office.
in the medal office, in the honours unit, but that's what I would be doing if I had a say in it.
Yeah.
You know, definitely, Willie. And listen, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your patience in explaining it all to us. I know it's been laborious to you because you know your stuff and the rest of us don't, and it's very much appreciated.
Well, as long as we start helping the likes of these guys,
Yep.
we know that the guys that's out there doing a job now are going to be recognised. But we can't leave it to politicians. We've got to let people know what the score is.
Well, I think
All we're asking for is the truth.
I think if I were you, I take it you've contacted your MP on many
You
occasions.
better believe it. You want to see what's on the website and
Right, absolutely, but I think that should be put up, that the medal should be given out to those who took part in the Yangtze Incident.
Right, Scotty, thanks a million.
God bless you, sir. Thank you a million, and dinky-doo.
Right, dinky do to you too.
Well done, sir. I salute you.
Right, bye.
Bye-bye now. There we are. That's, I know it was a long, drawn-out process, folks, but it's a fascinating piece of British history, and it was unfolding there right before our ears. Hello, you're live on Scottish Phone In. Good morning.
British history. Good morning, Miss McClue.
Good morning.
How are we?
Have you turned your radio down?
Yeah, I have now, yes.
Lovely. Good for you, sir. Is that Joe?
This is Joe.
Joe, what can I do for you, sir?
I just wish you would shout through your radio now and waking all your listeners up. Half of them's comatose. Thanks so much.
Why, what have you been doing to them? What have you been doing to the listeners, Joe? Have you been comatosing them yourself? Lennox is L107, so there you are. A lot of you ringing up and saying how fantastic it was to hear Willie there. I know it was a long call. I know that it was quite a long-winded call, but it was fascinating. As I say, it's a piece of British history that took place 60 years ago and still has ramifications in the lives of the people who were actually there that night. So it's all happening here on your local radio station. That's what it's about. It's fascinating when history can come to life like that. Now, and I thought Joe was mean-minded, mean-spirited and very low-lifed in his reaction to Willie there.
Box and Wireless Scotland, the very best of your box and wireless.